Heating water is the second largest energy draw in most homes, and a surprising share of that money goes straight down a warm drain. You pay to heat it, you use it for a few seconds, then you pay again as that warmth disappears into the sewer. Showers sit right at the center of that waste problem. But one Swedish company decided the drain was the problem, not the water. Orbital Systems builds a shower, the OAS, that catches the water as it falls and checks how clean it is around 20 times a second. It scrubs that water back above drinking quality, then pumps it straight up to the shower head. A single shower runs on about 1.3 gallons of water, where a long conventional shower can pour away as much as 40. If those numbers hold, the most water-hungry few minutes of your day become some of the leanest. We are going to follow that water around the loop, trace the whole idea back to a project on surviving Mars, and work out whether the savings really land where the company says they do. Showering is one of the most resource-heavy things we do indoors. In the United States, it accounts for around 17% of all the water used inside a home. Over a year, that adds up to more than 1 trillion gallons nationally. The water itself is the obvious cost, but it is only half the story. The other half is heat. Water heating is the second biggest energy use in a typical home, sitting at roughly 18% of the bill in a single-family house and higher in apartments. A long hot shower is where those two costs meet. Every minute you stand there, you are spending fresh water and the energy to warm it at the same time. Here is the part that does not add up. The water leaving your shower head is treated to drinking standard, then it touches your skin for 1 second and runs into the drain, barely dirtier than it arrived. For most of a shower, what goes down that drain is cleaner than the puddle on a city street. We treat it as waste anyway, because once water hits the drain, the system has no way to tell clean from filthy. Catching that water before it is lost and reusing it inside the bathroom is exactly the problem Orbital Systems set out to solve. The idea did not start in a bathroom at all. It started with the question of how a crew survives a trip to Mars. Founder Medad Mahjoubi worked on a Journey to Mars collaboration between Lund University and NASA's Johnson Space Center. The brief was simple and brutal. In space, there is no resupply, so every drop has to be captured, cleaned, and used again. Mahjoubi took that closed loop thinking back down to Earth and pointed it at the most wasteful fixture in an ordinary home. He founded Orbital Systems in Malmö in 2012. The following year, the team ran a punishing public trial at a coastal bathhouse, where more than 1,000 people a day used the prototypes to rinse off salt and sand. The units came through it, saving tens of thousands of gallons a month each, and the product went public later that year. The shower it became works less like plumbing and more like a small water treatment plant tucked behind a panel. When you start a session, it draws in a baseline of about 1.3 gallons of fresh water. That small volume is what circulates for the entire shower, however long you stay in. The clever part is how it decides what to keep. As the water falls and hits the drain basin, sensors read its purity around 20 times every second, measuring how much it conducts electricity. Clean water barely conducts at all. The moment you lather up with soap or shampoo, the reading spikes and the system knows that slug of water is too dirty to save. When the water passes the test, it gets routed through the cleaning loop. A micron filter traps hair and grit, then the water runs under an ultraviolet lamp that kills off bacteria and viruses. What comes back to the showerhead is purer than the tap water you started with. When the reading fails, the system does the opposite. It diverts that contaminated water to the ordinary drain and pulls in an equal splash of fresh water to keep the loop topped up. That same loop is what saves the energy. Water loses only a couple of degrees Fahrenheit on its short trip from your head to the drain. So the heater is not warming cold water from scratch. It is just nudging the same warm water back up to temperature. Heating from cold is where the energy goes in a normal shower, and the loop almost entirely sidesteps it. For the person standing in it, none of this means a weak trickle. The system can push a strong, high-pressure flow, since the water it delivers is recycled rather than drawn fresh from the mains. A touchscreen or a phone app handles the temperature and shows your savings as you go. Add it all together, and the company says the OAS cuts water use by up to 90% and energy by up to 80% against a standard shower. Those are Orbital's own figures, and we will come back to how well they hold up. That recycled water is what sets the OAS apart, and the contrast is sharpest against the cheap alternative. You can buy a low-flow shower head for a few dollars that simply restricts how much water comes out. It saves something, but it saves by giving you a worse shower, and it does nothing about the heat going down the drain. The OAS takes the opposite approach. Instead of rationing the water, it reuses it, so you can run a strong flow and still spend almost nothing. The water and the warmth both stay in the loop rather than leaking away. The honest tension is cost. A simple shower head is the price of a coffee, and the OAS starts at around $3,599 before installation and filters. So the real comparison is not against a shower head at all. It is against keeping your existing shower and paying the water and energy bill on it, month after month, for as long as you live there. Whether the OAS wins that comparison depends on what water and power cost where you live, which is exactly where the savings claims get contested. There are other recycling showers arriving alongside it. A Danish system called Flow, backed by IKEA, aims to be a cheaper plug-and-play retrofit, and a few others are circling the same idea. The category is young, and the OAS is the premium, most proven option in it for now. The pressure pushing this technology forward is real water scarcity, and it is no longer a distant worry. Reservoirs that supply millions in the American Southwest, like Lake Mead behind the Hoover Dam, have dropped to historic lows after years of drought. As those easy supplies shrink, utilities are forced toward far more expensive sources, and that cost flows back to households. It shows up most sharply in how water is priced. Many dry regions now use tiered rates, where the price per gallon climbs steeply once your usage crosses into higher bands. A household with a big garden or a pool can sit right in those costly top tiers. Cut your water use hard enough, and you fall back into the cheaper bands, which is where a recycling shower starts to actually pay. There is also a shift in what people want from a shower. In 2025, water pressure limits in the US became a public talking point, with a push to let showers run at full force again. The appeal of a recycling loop is that it sidesteps the whole fight. You get the high-pressure shower and the low water bill at once, instead of being asked to choose. For all that promise, the OAS has real ground to cover, and the first obstacle is in plain sight. The price puts it firmly in luxury territory, several $1,000s for a shower when a perfectly good one costs a fraction of that. Bringing that number down means moving from today's hand-built production to mass manufacturing. The founder has suggested the unit could eventually cost far less at high volume, but that is a projection, not a shelf price you can buy at yet. Then there is the upkeep. The filter capsules at the heart of the cleaning loop cost around $50 each and need replacing several times a year, depending on how much you shower and how hard your water is. It is a running cost a normal shower does not have, and it eats into whatever you save on the bill. That maintenance is not just about money, it is about safety. A closed loop only works if every drop is genuinely sterilized, because recycled shower water carries a real risk of bacteria like Legionella if the cleaning stage fails. A neglected filter or a worn-out UV bulb cannot be allowed to send contaminated water back to your skin. The fix is a fail-safe built into the design. The system constantly monitors its own filters and lamp, and if anything falls out of spec, it stops recycling, drops back to plain once through water, and warns you. That safeguard has to be airtight before this kind of shower belongs in every bathroom. And the savings themselves need an honest look. Orbital has long pitched figures near $1,000 a year, but that number has been disputed. The technology writer Sebastian Anthony, analysing the claim, argued the real saving is closer to $200 a year once you use realistic energy prices. The company itself has been reluctant to name a firm payback period, pointing out that it swings widely with your habits and your region. The honest read is that the savings are real, but smaller than the headline, and the payback depends heavily on where you live. None of those hurdles have slowed the money lining up behind it. Orbital has raised well over $90 million across its history, drawing in names like the former chief of H&M, a co-founder of Skype, and a Tesla supply chain veteran, alongside backing from the European Investment Bank. That capital is what funds the move from a luxury item towards something built at scale. The company is also working around the hardest part of selling these showers, which is the installation. Rather than convince cautious plumbers one bathroom at a time, it has struck deals to build the system into homes at the factory. It has also partnered with high-end bathroom makers like Duravit to fold the technology into fixtures people already want. The fastest returns are coming from hotels and gyms, where a single shower runs all day and the water savings stack up quickly. If you are watching this and wondering when you can fit one, The answer is that you already can, through specialist installers, as long as the budget stretches to it. The real wait is not for the shower to exist. It is for the price to fall and the codes to catch up, the way new home technology usually does once early luxury buyers have paid for the first generation. This is the first shower that treats your drain as a design flaw rather than a fact of life. The price is still steep, the filters are a chore, and the savings are real, but more modest than the marketing suggests. Yet, as droughts deepen and water grows more expensive, the logic of reusing what you already paid to clean and heat only gets harder to argue with. It won't be the last appliance to look at the water leaving your home and decide that was a waste. If you want to see which part of the house gets quietly reinvented next, that is exactly what we dig into here, so stick with us for it.